A thread by Soul War. We are entering the gauntlet of Democrat rage. We will be buffeted and pummeled in the next 50 days as fear merchants on both sides in the media try to push or pull you in the direction that suits them. Stay your course. We are almost home. Everything you are about to see will be designed to manipulate you or destroy your morale to force you to do one of two things: to not vote or to vote Biden. The Democrat Party's position is now crystal clear. Vote for us or we'll give you hell. Pure extortion. Wrong country, fellas. We had a mafia. Where'd it go? Let's ask this guy, Rudy Giuliani. I know they still exist, but the control they had over New York City and other places was broken. Those that didn't go legit will soon be very sorry, as the new technology is rolling up human trafficking. Jesse Waters understands what's happening, as what the radicals who now control the DNC have been forced by President Trump to admit openly the agendas they have in store for every American. Genghis Khan was more subtle. Now, riots magically appear within hours of police shooting, killing a non-white person. What happened? Who cares? Blue shot black. Riot inbound. Lancaster, Pennsylvania's riot was pre-positioned by Antifa. They monitor and wait for the spark. You know, a Floyd, a Blake, a Brooks, a Prude. Voila! With the volume by the mainstream media ratcheted up to get out there and go crazy, all these operatives have to do is wait. I won't post it again, but yesterday police released the video of an absolute goon murdering an Oklahoma officer and wounding his rookie partner. This happened in June. The officers assumed he was just another mouthy, uncooperative punk who will never comply. They didn't know about the small pocket pistol this felon had on him. It cost one of them their life, and it was over nothing. His car was being towed. Look at him. No brakes. He's the poster child of what's been allowed to run amok in the streets, controlled by Democrats, deranged, violent, and entitled. Trump put out the fires in Minneapolis and Kenosha almost overnight. Each event was roughly 3 days. Day 1, travel. Day 2, identify. Day 3, out go the lights. Elijah Schaffer also knows what's now happening. Escalation. Trump moves. The enemy moves. We deploy teams. They are now deploying teams and waiting for the spark. Elijah Schaffer tweets, "A few days ago, I told y'all to keep your eyes on the East Coast, and some of you doubted. So far, Rochester and Lancaster have been out of control. Wait till you see what they have planned for the rest of the week in other major cities. This is the hotspot right now." Soul War continues. As the mainstream media works their particular dark magic on anyone and everyone they can, the fake news they are peddling is being debunked within hours now rather than days, and in some cases, no one even bothers to, because they have gone past parody. The price the nation is paying is real, though. Another bloody event we can lay at the feet of the DNC as Oregon and California go up in flames. We get the defining spectacle of Governor Newsom crowing about climate as 30-plus arsonists sit in jail in California, Oregon, and Washington. Again, past parody, right to a genuine threat to national security. I watch twitch.tv/PT News Network nightly to pick up live streams of rioting for these threads. The host, Steve, is an ex-firefighter who lives in Florida. I like the channel, as Steve wants to go and back the blue as good content, but I've noticed something about Steve. He's lost. Occasionally, while watching the streams, his voice will falter and he will go silent. Then he'll sigh in frustration and say, "This makes no sense," or "What's happened to my country?" He often says, "This is insane." Then he goes right back to saying, "It makes no sense." He's struggling. Trump doesn't seem to be doing anything, and the riots seem to be unchecked. If you follow my threads, you know what Trump, Barr, and Esper are doing covertly to address the DNC's trying to hold the nation hostage. But to too many Americans, they don't know that. They just see chaos. When I said this nation has undergone a polarizing event, I meant it. The radical left created a second, darker America within the original. I get that you don't like that, but it's true. Look at Portland. Reinl was, after a week or two of chaos, going to turn himself in. He would be tried, and then he'd be acquitted. Portland is lost. Accept it. The police fixed the case. A phantom gun was said to have been found on Danielson that he was menacing two phantom black men with. Those lies opened a door for the jury. Reinl was going to walk through it. That interview was set up to goad Trump supporters and Proud Boys to go looking for Reinl. He'd be in Washington State laughing his ass off as Nazi scum got hunted and beaten or killed in Portland. That's why the feds moved in early. Reinl was just a pawn. He and that goon in Oklahoma are perfect examples of the radical left's handiwork. Well, as we run this gauntlet, riots to the left, fires to the right, murders in front, and beatings all around, cling to this. Dawn is coming. What they are doing to us will pass. That second, darker America, President Trump knows all about it. He's prepared things carefully. 70 years they spent crafting it. Their palaces, our cages. In 4 short years, battling every day, Trump has weakened their America in key locations like a demolition expert. When you realize the scope of what the radical left intended, it's horrifying. An abdication, not just of American principles, but of humanity itself. Trump cannot show mercy to this thing they've created, so he's building as a master builder to replace it on its ashes. November 4th, 2020 to about May of 2021 will look like a demolition derby. Building 1, Marxist USA. Building 2, Marxist International World. They're not coming back from this. Too many Americans will have seen their true face. But they'll riot harder, sure, and then President Trump will shut them down harder. Carlos Osuita kind of let the cat out of the bag. Remember Operation Legend being quite effective, huh? Because we've already identified the bad guys. Names, faces, places, roundup. Kenosha was supposed to be the launching of a new riot offensive. Trump extinguished it in 3 days, just like Minneapolis. So now the enemy has deployed its own teams to the East Coast to also deploy at a moment's notice to spark riots, hoping to overwhelm the feds. Suckers. Yes, there will be rioting after Trump's reelected. The Democrats won't accept the results and they'll go full lawfare. And they've never accepted 2016 and they never will. Hell, they never accepted 2000. Remember, the courts had to make them stop recounting. We know who the rioters are. You will watch their world collapse into ruins, and with it goes their power to abuse you. The mainstream media, DC as it exists, will cease to exist as the law enforcement officers they try to defund, dissolve, assist federal teams in rounding up the malcontents. By May, it'll mostly be over. Mostly. You will be delighted, relieved, thankful, and hopeful towards the future as it brightens. America will rise and shine. But stay vigilant, because not all hearts and minds will change or adapt to this new dawn of the Pax Americana. Some will be bitter and angry, murderously so. From December to May, I expect bombs to be going off as the radical left fall back on their old playbook, terrorism. As their financiers are dropped one by one, they will again resort to robberies and kidnapping and targeted killings, just like the early 70s. If I know this, I assure you, President Trump knows this too. He's as prepared as you can be, given his resources. As Americana rises, the radical left will try, and try hard, to drown out the joy and prosperity with acts of obscene carnage and rage. It will look like this. They will, mark my words, do that. Butcher families, trying to drown out our roar of progress with innocent blood. Some of their arsonists may have already done that in Oregon, but this will be worse, much worse. The DOJ will respond harshly. Then those atrocities will fade. We'll be through their vile gauntlet, free of them at long last. We have paid a terrible price for our lack of vigilance, in lives lost, lives destroyed, and forever altered from what could have been. Dwelling on it would be pointless. Just don't forget. That would be unforgivable. Resolve to vote. They are spending billions right now trying to extort or cow you. Your meaningless vote. Vote in person at your earliest opportunity. Stay defensive and be the happy warrior. We really won in 2016. 2020 is us cementing it beyond their ability to recover. A lot of very dark hopes and dreams are being dashed right now. Superpowers they thought they possessed are being proven delusions of grandeur, as their internal polling spells disaster. So they flail about, clawing at the air, screaming, all the way down. Invest in popcorn. Oh, sorry. Scrolled me to the beginning. Almost done, guys. This is a badass thread. The universe is a meritocracy. Our founders envisioned an America based on that principle. Forces have worked relentlessly and ruthlessly for centuries to destroy that vision, because it will change everything, and they prefer the past where they rule humanity. Their grip on our throat has been broken. President Trump, one man, did that. Their power and influence are fading as they scream and threaten us, demanding submission. Sorry, guys, I can't hear you. I don't believe in you. I dream a finer dream, one that President Trump is making real. It has to play out. The Democrat-run cities will become hell zones until the voters stuck there either collapse into insolvency or change their hearts. We'll do what we can, but it's their call. Meanwhile, we'll be having a blast, joyous and content, having weathered the soul war. To support the works of Brent Cates, go to paypal.me/Brent Cates. Thanks for listening.